slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through.
Thank y'all for tuning back in to your favorite channel, Pelican Bay Dog Talking News for the day. Giving it to you the way I always do, fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't. Like I always say, y'all hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button before you get up out of here. Don't forget to drop down in the comments and salute to all my brothers in the chat right now. I want to send a big shout out to all the Bulldoggers, like I always say, from one side of the U.S. to the other side of the U.S., from one side of the world to the other side of the world. Let's get into that dog talk for the day. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, today we're getting into that yellow stuff. We're going into the world of Grand Champion yellow dogs. Okay, my thing is, like I said before, and I'm gonna say this at the beginning of this video. You know, JD Hog is the first Mayday dog that I ever in my life took care of. When I say took care of, I'm talking about for a long period of time. Had Mayday dogs, never had none this long. You know, I'm not here to talk about Mayday. I'm here to talk about everything outside of Mayday today. Okay, we're gonna talk about Mayday as well a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? But we talking about percentages, right? Brothers ask me about percentages. When you ask me about percentages, you know the answer I'm gonna give you. To me, percentages is dog salesman talk. You know what I'm saying? To me, percentage, when I talk about percentage, then you talking about how many dogs you sold compared to whatever you feel like the high quality dogs were that you sold. Okay, now you can't go off percentages because you have too many different kind of dog men out here. You know, with what I'm reading is about consistency. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know where the percentage thing comes in at. You know, because that's no modern day dog talk. I'm talking about consistency. Consistently getting the same thing you got the last time or better. Consistently getting what you know is going to come out. You know what I'm saying? Consistent. You know, when you talk about percentages, what are you talking about? I know what you're trying to say. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're trying to say, but, you know, like I said before, you know, you're looking at it from a standpoint of the way you looking at it from through your eyes, but you're not trying to look at it from what I'm telling you. I've been dealing with these dogs for damn 25, 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Half of that time was on bad time. When I say bad time, I mean doing the wrong things with these dogs. You know what I'm saying? Make a quick statement. One brother said something about these brothers aren't active, or at least I'm not active, you know, on the panel or this or that. You damn right, we not active. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I'm active in doing is being a better dog man than I was back in the days. You know, the dog man that I am now, that dog man back then couldn't compare to this. You know, I'm trying to be a better dog man that I can never even think of back in the days. You know, that's the only activity I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? You know, brothers just, you know, brothers say so many things, you know, and that's why I say certain things, you got to watch who you're going out there playing all these games with. When I say games, I mean taking your hounds different places, because people feed off the things you say. They realize that you green off the things you say. You can't look at a brother just by how he look and tell he green. You wait till he start talking. You wait till he start speaking. Then you sit back. See, brothers ain't gonna, this is what brothers not gonna do. You know, when they know you green like that, before they give you the good dog, they gonna get all the money out your pocket they can get from you first. You know what I'm saying? When you come talking like this or talking like that, or, you know, like I said, a brother can't just look at you and tell you green just by looking at you. He wait till you speak, the things that roll from your tongue. You know what I'm saying? And I never, like, percentages. You go to percentages, what percentage of Mayday dogs did something out of the 1,000 breedings he did? You know? What would you add his percentages against a dog who only bred 30 times? A dog who bred 40 times? His percentages is going to be a whole lot higher than a dog that bred 1,000 times. So you got a dog that bred 50 times over here, right? He only made, say, 10 champions. Okay? Now you got a dog who made 1,000 breedings over here, and he only made 20 champions. So who percentage is higher? You know? If that's how you look at it. See, percentages go all back to sales and all that stuff. You know? It's all about consistency. You know what I'm saying? Are you consistently getting great bulldogs off the breeds you making? You know what I'm saying? Because see, at the end of the day, you can't control what folk go out here and do with your dog. You know what I'm saying? When I say that, I mean some folk do treadmills, some folk do confirmation, some folk do weight pull, some folk do sitting on the couch looking at TV. You know? So when you start talking about percentages, brothers can't add up percentages when they worried about their dogs getting to good homes. When you talking about percentages of certain things, we talking about consistency. Consistently getting great dogs. You know what I'm saying? Another thing, when it comes to Mayday, reason why I tell y'all we never ran that Mayday stuff on my side of town is because we never had to run it. Mayday, y'all want me to be real with you, right? So Victor had Mayday running around all across the country. Him and his crew. We had our own yellow dogs. We didn't have to rely on Mayday to get yellow dogs. See, that's the thing today and throughout the days. You know, a lot of folks had to rely on Mayday in order to get close to yellow. We never had to rely on Mayday to get yellow dogs. You know, I'm speaking to you from a yellow point that don't have no Mayday in it. You know, I don't care about the Mayday stuff. So when brothers be like fair and unbiased, nah, I'm fair and unbiased is what I'm telling you now. My main stud got Mayday all through it. But back in the days, you know, when I was younger, you couldn't give me a Mayday dog. You know what I'm saying? I had a few of them. Crossroad, anybody who know Crossroads Pee-wee coming directly off Mayday, bred back to another Hollingsworth dog. but his offspring wasn't comparing to the offspring of the other yellow dogs. The offspring that came off that Mayday dog. No. A lot of Mayday brothers ain't gonna like what I'm about to say. Might not like what I said already. But like I said, you know, I'm only giving my opinion on the dogs that I came across. You know, you can't start, out of all the Mayday dogs across the country, you can't just go get 2 damn Mayday dogs and start a yard with it. The Mayday lines right now are not consistently giving you the type of bulldogs that brothers is looking for or brothers is hoping to get from these dogs. You know? But when you're talking about another line, see, you want to mix it with the Big John line. When I say mix, I don't mean breed it with it. I mean you want to confuse it with it. You know what I'm saying? See, it's a difference. That Mayday is Bolio stuff. Red Boy Jocko of the yellow and Bolio. Another thing, Victor didn't run a yard off Mayday. Victor bred Mayday to everything. Mayday done bred to every single line of dogs. Why can't you tell me which line of dogs go best with the Mayday after all them 1,000, 1,500 breedings he did? What line go best with it? Eli, Jeep, Red Boy, what? How come you can't tell me what I can tell you about the Big John stuff when I say you take the Big John dog and you put it with anything right now? How come you can't tell me that the Mayday dogs are equivalent to Red Boy? When I say equivalent to Red Boy, I mean back in the days, brothers took Red Boy dogs and threw them with anything, you know, to get that go in them, to keep that go in them. You know, modern day or more modern day times than Red Boy, brothers took or could take the Big John, Little John stuff. When I say Little John, don't get it confused again, because I never rep the CML stuff. We rep our side of our stuff from our side. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to these dogs, because we got to know what it is with it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Not into collecting dogs. Not into buying pedigrees from everybody across the country. I never been into that. That was never my style. I know a whole lot of good brothers that it ain't nothing wrong with that if that's what you do. You like to buy something from here, here, here. That ain't my style. My style is to focus on the win. You know, back then. Still my style. If I'm going to get this confirmation show, I got to focus on the win. It ain't my thing to build up as many different lines on the yard or something, collecting this one, collecting that one. Nah, I'm not into that. You know? I'm into winning, getting the best to the best. Now, we're going to talk about that Mayday stuff, because see, the Mayday stuff, you can't compare to the Big John stuff. Once again, you know what I'm saying? You can't compare it. Big John is straight Red Boy Jocko. Mayday's got the Bolio in it. Big John, right now, 2023, is still throwing better dogs because you can only compare it to what you got out here. Still throwing better dogs with real Jocko traits. When I say traits from Jocko, you know what I'm saying? Which one of the dogs, if you take away size, of a Mayday offspring from then to now, outside of Luke Kane, you know, outside of Barracuda, that you're willing to put up a fuss about? See, I got a few Big John dogs I could put up a fuss about. You know what I'm saying? But we don't go off percentages. We go off consistency. See, percentages can go high if you're dealing with a bunch of backyard people that's gassed up off something that ain't real. Then your percentage is high. Oh, you selling 1,000 dogs and you got them going to a bunch of bullshit ass dog men. And then, yeah, they shitting you. They got you gassed up because all the shit they going into is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And so percentages don't mean nothing. It's about consistency. And see, the thing about consistency, you can't know consistency if you haven't been breeding that particular dog for a long period of time. You can't know consistency of 1 or 2 breedings because you got that good breeding and then you got another good one. That's not what I mean by consistency. I mean year after year, 12 months after 12 months. from the 80s to the 90s, you know, consistently getting good working line dogs. You know, getting good working line dogs. You can't worry about the percentages. Too many dogs is getting confiscated. How can you worry about percentages and a feedback from something that you never going to get it from? It's too chaotic in that world of the dog world for you to worry about percentages. Percentages of what? How many people get on Facebook and talk loosely? You know, percentages of what? Percentages of great dogs that are being produced off them dogs. I know what y'all brothers asking me, you know. So I'm going to break it all the way down for you. Like I said, you know, we talking about these yellow dogs. I'm bringing you to this world of yellow, you know. Because see, like I said last night, you know, and shout out to all my brothers on the panel. Shout out to all my brothers in the chat that rocked with us all night last night. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to brother J Bo. Shout out to brother Insane Honey Badger. You know what I'm saying? You know, but when we talk about percentages and consistency, you know, it's just the way certain people look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're not looking at it from my eyes. My eyes told me a long time ago, I never had, until I see a dog that's making me change my mind, a line of dogs that's making me change. See, one dog not going to make me change my mind. Because I know it's a whole bunch of dogs in front of that or a whole bunch of dogs behind that. What are all them dogs doing? See, I know not to get gassed up off a one-hitter quitter. What they call a one-hitter quitter. Oh, you see that? That's a pure Jeep dog, and now you think Jeep is the shit. And that's a one-hitter quitter. Everything before him, his curves, and everything he produced outside of that one you see right there wasn't too much of shit. But you gassed up off that because you see that. You know what I'm saying? No, man. No. It's about the line, consistency. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was saying about the tab stuff. Is that have that stuff? We talking about Jeep is the top of the rum list. But I think yellow should be the top of the rum list because the Jeep dogs haven't consistently over the years kept producing the way the yellow dogs is in 2023. You got to get the Jeep dogs from the right people. Them yellow dogs, it really don't matter who you get them from. It depends on, you know, long as they yellow all the way through, pretty much red boy jogger all the way through with yellow stuff. It don't matter who you get it from, you know. And see the thing, a lot of brothers get it confused because you so gassed up off of breeding cold dogs, breeding. I'm not into breeding curs at all. But a cold dog is a cold dog. And a cold dog will get bred if I got it and I want to breed it. I'm telling you like that, you know. Because a cold dog don't mean your dog is a cur. Cold means exactly what it says. You know, cold. This dog has not showed you any type of motivation to do any type of activity you want them to do. You know, when I say cold, I do not mean scary dogs. Because brothers take it all different ways and directions. I mean cold, good acting dog, not scared of people. No, none of that type of stuff. Just a cold acting dog, you know. And brothers get it confused because everybody want to say, oh, I test this, I test that, I test this, I test that. But see, you talking with brothers who done got their mind made up in their head. Because see, at the end of the day, like I said, you can show me an ill Eli dog, but that's not going to make me go ahead and buy Eli dogs. You know what I'm saying? You can do all that because I know they come. You know, I'm content with lines I'm running. You know, until I'm all the way out the dog game, I'm good. You know why? Because if it ain't switched up in 10 years, if it ain't switched up since the 90s, and from the 90s to 2010, or the 90s to 2005, why the hell would it switch up now? You know, if I'm still consistently getting great bulldogs, why is it going to switch up now? You see, sometimes we want our dogs to be something they ain't. You know, we want to fit in with the Joneses. Because this man over here running 100 miles on the treadmill, you want to get something to running 100 miles on the treadmill, or because this man dog doing this, you want to get something to doing that instead of seeing, is that dog a real bulldog? You know? Now, when it comes to yellow, I don't talk that yellow talk for Mayday. You know what I'm saying? I tell brothers all the time, I'm a JD Hogg fan. I'm not a Mayday fan. You know, I got JD Hall from my partner City Boy. You know what I'm saying? We representing them dogs. You know what I'm saying? We not representing Mayday. We representing them dogs that you see in your face. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not no Mayday fan. Mayday directly off Yellow. You know, I could care less about that because I had Mayday dogs that was coming directly off Mayday sons when Mayday was still living. The dude that I tell you about that had the dogs off Mayday was best friends with Victor. Crossroad, Eric, him and Victor was like this. Not taking nothing from Mayday, you know, because it takes an awesome dog to do the things he did. You know, but at the end of the day, that Mayday stuff is not what I brag about when I talk yellow dogs. And I want to get that clear. You know, got to get it clear. Because like I said at earlier the video, while Mayday was prancing from this state to that state to this state to that state, we had yellow dogs. We had red boy dogs. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have to get Bailey's Bingo. Even though I got the Bailey's Bingo through Sambo, you know, we didn't have to get certain red boy stuff, the Cruz red boy stuff, because we had the Marlowe's stuff. You know what I'm saying? And other red boy stuff as well. Brothers had the stuff directly off red boy, directly off Bass Tramp red boy. You know? So it's not, you're looking at it from different points of view. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mind explaining it to none of my brothers, and I'm not talking no trash to none of my brothers at all. Because you're supposed to ask a question when you want to know the answer. You know? And my thing as a dog journalist is to give you the best answer I can give you. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when it comes to yellow, man, you know, I know too many. Oh, like I said, you know, Mr. Claude Puckett ain't no different than Mr. Burns and Mr. Chavis and the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all boys just don't know about him because he wasn't out mainstream. Old school dog, man. You know what I'm saying? Old school dog, man. When I say mainstream, I'm saying he wasn't out there like your more famous dog men. You know what I'm saying? He was out there with them brothers. Every one of them brothers in your pedigrees know this brother I'm talking about. It's just like you see him in your pedigree right now with Puckett's Dixie Belle. You know, Puckett's Dixie Belle. We've been running that yellow stuff without dealing with the Mayday, so it aggravates me when brothers never had none of the yellow stuff from my side of town, but judge our yellow stuff off Mayday when Mayday is not even pure Red Boy Jocko. Mayday is Red Boy Jocko Bolio. You know, and I'm going to give you a story on that too. Now, first of all, I gave some of my brothers, my younger brothers, some dog homework a few weeks back. Nobody took it up on me, you know. Now, y'all asking me questions, but when I ask questions, my brothers, I at least try to get an answer or say, you know, we couldn't find anything. I asked y'all to find me a Red Boy Jocko line that had Argo in it. That was consistent Red Boy Jocko top and bottom that had Argo in it, that didn't have the Big John dogs in it. You know, that's what separates. See, it's a lot of dogs and a lot of things that separates one from the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't get the Garner dogs and think the Floyd dogs, you can judge the Floyd dogs off the Garner dogs. You know, even though they all Eli stuff. One man got his own style of breeding, the other man got his own style of breeding. You know, it'd be a fool for me to judge all the Eli dogs off of what Garner has. You know, that's only a green move. You can't do it. You know, and like I said, one thing we can't do as dog brothers, we can't judge no dog we have not laid hands on that bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's, you don't hear me talking no whole lot of ups and downs about Bolio dogs because I have no real experience with Bolio dogs. I'm talking pretty much predominantly Bolio dogs. You know, I talk about the dogs that I seen or the dogs that I ran across, you know, and I give my opinions on them. And like I said, as far as choosing a bloodline for me, I've been did that in the 90s. Now, see, when I talk good about, I try to talk good about all lines. You know what I'm saying? Because if I go back into my mind frame of how I was when I was younger, you know, I love for a brother to bring an Eli dog. You know what I'm saying? I love for you to gassed up off your Eli stuff. You know what I'm saying? And this is gonna get. I felt like it was gonna get ran through. You know what I'm saying? Until you showed me different back in them days. You know, it's like I would never, after I seen what I seen with them dogs, you know, I made my decisions. I can't help what my friends like, or my next friend like, or my other homeboy from across town like. Everybody got different tastes in dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, it don't take me losing the house, the car, and everything before I decide to work with a line that's gonna work. You know, and like I said, brothers looking at things when we talking about dogs aren't the dogs from back in the days, right? That's what we were discussing last night. But we can't let the dogs go. We can't make our dogs modern day famous enough without getting in any trouble. You just can't make the dog's name famous enough to say, forget the red boy. We want this dog. Forget the red boy. We want that dog. Even though we know them dogs is directly pure red boy dogs or predominantly red boy dogs, we worrying about that particular dog in front of you. And that's just, it goes back to, it ain't the fact that we don't recognize the dogs like me and brother J-Bo was talking about last night, because we don't recognize some of the dogs. But instead of putting effort in trying to get brothers to recognize it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you know what I'm saying, getting brothers to recognize it, we always drift back to the old. It's easier to stay in your comfort zone, drift back to the old. You go out your comfort zone, rock your bloodline for a year, and then see where you be at. You know what I'm saying? Rock your dog for a year and see where you be at far as your confident level. You wouldn't even be talking about it. It's a red boy dog, man, but we worrying about this one that's in your face. You know what I'm saying? And then it goes back to different folk for different strokes. Different people breed different ways. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers, like I said, a lot of them yellow lines have been crossed up all kind of ways. You know, so we still not giving credit to the bottom half of them dogs. We still not giving credit to the bottom half. Okay, now we got Mayday, right? Produced Barracuda, but when you look in Barracuda pedigree, right? What do you see when you look in Barracuda pedigree? I don't even got to look at it. I done looked at it already. What do you see? You see Mayday on the top, and then you see more yellow dogs on the bottom. More yellow dogs. It just, brothers got to look at it from everybody's standpoint, you know what I'm saying? And then a lot of my younger brothers, you know, you can't try to, when I said I was trying to explain this last night, you can't try to, all you can do is listen to the stories and enjoy the stories. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things that the way we feel, you're not gonna be able to feel that way because you can't experience what we experienced. You know what I'm saying? You can't. So it's like if a brother get up there and telling me about before I got in the dog game, right? When the brothers had the Carolina Classic shows and all that, and say brothers running 5 and 6 and 7 dogs in one night. I'm talking about one kennel running a whole buku load of dogs in one night. You know, and they worked them all, got them all worked, got them all conditioned. And, you know, they talking about the barbecue. They talking about the bleachers and all that type of stuff. The people sitting around. They talking about the sheriff at the gate and all that type of stuff. You know, with them stories, all you can do is listen. You know what I'm saying? You can't say, you can't knock them, or you can't try to look at it from a 2023 standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Certain things I haven't even experienced back in the dog game. So I listen. You know what I'm saying? I listen and I learn. You know, I learned how to add it to my modern day dog game, which is the legal dog game, which is a whole lot easier for me, because there's a lot of pressure on that dog game that y'all, be so crazy about some of my brothers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of pressure when it comes to making them fast lane decisions. You know what I'm saying? Making them fast lane decisions is a lot of pressure. A lot of better know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Better know what you're doing, because there's a lot of brothers, that be in the chats, that be in the comments. Everybody proclaim to be that fast lane. You know what I'm saying? But what makes you fast lane is the next question we want to ask brothers. What makes a brother fast lane? Is it by going by the rules? Making sure you go by the rules every time you played back then? Or dealing with famous people? Famous referees. What makes you fast lane and what makes you the lower class? You know what I'm saying? That's what question I'm asking you right now. Because, see, nobody still told me no Red Boy Jocko dogs with the Argo in it. Nobody told me nothing about that. And see, another thing, I got to stick to this percentages thing, because brother thought I was dodging this question when I don't think in percentages. I think in consistency. Percentages is what you can tell me. Consistency is what I see. I'm going by what I see, not what you tell me. Because I can't see how you get down over there. The same way I say we can't see what them brothers doing in another country, when we always bragging about their shows. And we don't know how it's going down. No disrespect to nobody else, because I know they probably doing it the same way that brothers was doing it on this side back then. But I worry about consistency. If I'm consistently getting great dogs off these Malinois I'm breeding, or I'm worrying about the percentage of them that go out there, to the percentage of them that make police dogs, which one is going to give me better dogs? My consistency, leaving from my eyes, or the percentages of the people that's going to train these dogs? I sell 1,000 dogs. What percentage of them going to be police dogs? What percentage of people is even getting involved in that type of stuff? Then, once you get a percentage of people that's involved with that kind of training, what percentage of them are going to make the cut? See, percentages is all involved with sales, man. It's all involved with sales. Percentages is involved with all that crazy stuff. Like, we been had yellow dogs, is all I'm going to say. Been had yellow dogs, didn't need Mayday. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about our yellow dogs is the Big John, Yellow John stuff, because I got to school some of my brothers on that stuff, that judge the half brother off the other half brother, because it's different. Like I said, one half brother is Bolio, the other half brother is bred back to a heavy Jocko bred Red Boy Jocko dog. And we talking about a Red Boy Jocko dog that's not coming off no tent dog. All the Red Boy Jocko stuff that's on the bottom side of Big John has no yellow in it, fam. All my brothers and sisters out there. Only yellow Red Boy Jocko comes from the top side of Big John. Through the bottom side, we talking about Red Boy Jocko without getting the yellow. See, we talking about a few different things when it comes to separating lines. Red Boy Jocko line specifically. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to put Pitt Island in this, because I done talked about that before. They producing great dogs. Great yellow dogs. Without having the Mayday. See? Now, before J.D. Hall era, back in my days when I was in the Wild Wild West, I probably would have grabbed a red devil dog or one of them type of dogs. Red devil most likely, because we talking before Thugdom era. You know what I'm saying? I would have grabbed a red devil dog. But the thing is, when I grab that dog, I'm already knowing that this is not a Mayday dog. See, Mayday put a bad taste in my mouth back in the days because maybe the way the brothers was breeding the dogs. But to me, if you ask me, it's just Mayday dogs is just too plentiful. They was bred too many different ways. You can't rely on them. They was put out to everybody. The backyard, the fast lane, everybody got Mayday dogs. You know what I'm saying? Some of that yellow stuff was preserved. You wasn't kicking out for it, you wasn't getting it. You know, some people couldn't get in touch with it because it wasn't no online ped and all. It wasn't no Facebook and none of that type of stuff. You know, so you couldn't get it. But you can get you a Mayday dog just like you can find a blue dog everywhere. You can find a Mayday dog anywhere. How good is that Mayday dog, though? That's what you got to worry about. Now, we say we got Mayday dogs, but how many times is Mayday in our pedigrees? We got Mayday in our pedigree one time and we scream it's a Mayday dog. That's not a Mayday dog. That's a dog with Mayday in the pedigree. When I say yellow dogs, I'm talking about dogs that every single dog go back to yellow or red boy Jocko. You know, if we're going to say that's a Mayday dog, then predominantly every single dog in that pedigree need to go back to Mayday. Now, if we got more yellow in the dog and one or two Mayday breedings, that's a yellow dog. That's not a Mayday dog. If we're gonna be precise about it, you know, if we got yellow all on the bottom side and yellow on the top, and we still got Mayday on the top, then that's a yellow dog. Yellow produced Mayday, you know. So we got yellow all through the pedigree, you know. But me, you know, some brothers say Mayday was always overrated. And I say the same damn thing. You know, the offspring wise, I ain't gonna say that about Mayday himself. The offspring, you know. See, that Mayday stuff is a whole lot more places than that real yellow stuff ever made it to. That's why that real yellow stuff got preserved the right way. You know, wasn't crossed up this way, wasn't crossed up that way, wasn't crossed up this way. And that's why right now today you can take that real yellow stuff, you know, and start your yard with it. You know, start your yard of good quality working dogs that you can take to the ADBA confirmation show, that you can take to the treadmill, that you can take to the weight pull. You know, consistently giving you high quality working line dogs. We don't know about percentages. You know what I'm saying? We don't keep account of percentages, you know. Because like I said, when you know in your heart you giving people quality dogs, that's all that matter. You telling me you going to take care of this dog? You telling me you going to, like I said, a lot of people do different things with dogs. So it's no telling. You basing the word percentages off of puppy sales. And you talking to brothers who didn't base their Pitbull game off puppy sales. Brother who based their Pitbull game off performance. You see? It's a little different, man. It's a little different. And when it comes to bloodlines, like I said before, you must, and I'm just a firm believer of it. In order for you to speak down on that dog or up on that dog, you must have had seen that dog or had hands on that dog before. Particular bloodline before. And I really like to weed away from seen and say had hands on. Hands on is a whole lot different than you seeing somebody else showing something. You know, you just looking at that. You don't know how that they got to that point where they at now. You know what I'm saying? When you got hands on something, when you raise something, when you see something and see how it is, then you know, oh, this ain't what I want to be working with. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this ain't what I like. You know? And then, like I always say, brothers quick to judge a whole line of dogs off one dog. You know what I'm saying? Off one dog. You can't do it. And you in the era where you can't do it how we did it. Because we got dogs so cheap that we didn't have to base it off one. If that didn't work, we moved on. Half the time, brothers maybe weren't charging the brothers who was in the camp. You know? So if that didn't work, we moved on. If that didn't work, we moved on. You can't do it like that now because every single dog y'all move on to gonna cost you $1,500. Gonna cost you $1,000, $2,000. It ain't like it used to be. Yeah, you got kennel partners. It's the only way you're gonna get your dogs for free. And if you're talking about dogs that's outside of the lines you running, that's not, most likely that's not your kennel partner. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. We in different eras, so it'll be unfair, you know what I'm saying, for me to even try to shine on my young brothers, you know what I'm saying, to try to discredit my young brothers, but only thing to do is try to tell you the best I can. Now, you know, if you my one, I'm about to say something, and if you haven't had the lines, you wouldn't understand what I'm about to say. See, that's why it goes back to saying when you make a statement about a particular line, you need to have had hands on with that line when you make that statement. You know, because with the statement I'm about to say, nobody can answer this statement unless they had hands on with both lines. You know, and really, you really need to have hands on with both of these lines at in the late 90s, early 90s or whatever. Okay, now we talking Mayday sperm, we talking Big John sperm. You know, at this point, seeing what Mayday dogs throw, seeing what Big John dogs throw, brothers is gonna get the dog sperm directly off Big John. You know, cause see, all that breeding Mayday did, it can come back to haunt you at the end. It can help you. Help Victor, but it can haunt brothers who trying to represent that line. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that you see what came out of that line in the last 30, 40 years. But one thing I will say about Big John and Mayday lines, both lines I saw both lines make great dogs when crossed with Red Boy dogs. You know, whether it was Bailey's Bingo, the Cadillac, the Deacon, WCC Dinky dog, no matter which one it was, the Red Boy stuff crossed great with both dogs. You know what I'm saying? It's not considered a cross, but we saying cross is because we leaving out of the family. See, Mayday don't got a family. Mayday family comes from all the brothers who made these breedings, starting your own family of dogs off Mayday. Mayday don't have a family of dogs. You know? Nobody kept Mayday dogs from the original crew and bred them back to 2023. Nobody from the original Mayday crew. So the only Mayday lines are going to be the brothers who bought dogs coming off of Mayday, and they started the lines like that. See, now you comparing that to brothers who started their line directly off yellow, finessed their line, learned how to breed their line, you know, mastered the art of their line, and was getting great quality dogs off their line. Let's go back to 2005. Any brother, most likely, I'm going to say most likely, 75% of the brothers that you would have stepped to during that time and say, would you want a dog directly off Mayday right now or a dog directly off Big John right now? They probably would have told you Big John if they was up of age and know about both dogs. See, that matters a whole lot. You know, y'all, a lot of brothers listening to stories, you know, because that's what we do, tell stories. But you forget that these stories that we telling are memories. You know what I'm saying? Are memories that we've been through already. You know, have feelings for, you know, done been through it. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, we can't expect y'all to understand certain aspects, so it wouldn't be right to try to put you in that situation, to try to even explain it. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be right. Knowing you don't know about Yellow from the 90s, knowing you don't know about Yellow from the 80s, or Mayday from the 90s, you know, it wouldn't be fair to talk about that, you know. So it's like, it wouldn't be fair for you as a young buck to try to bring me into your world as well. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be fair to you or me to try to bring me into your world, because it's going to always seem like I'm trying to seem like my dog's better than yours, seem like I know more than you, seem like I don't want to take your advice on this or take your advice on that. It's going to seem like that because of when brothers go through certain things, they get set in their ways, you know what I'm saying? And then you think we talk about how the dog game screwed up now? You think brothers, any brother that say he was in a dog game back in the 90s, if he get in a dog game now, he going back with the same stuff he was running back with in the 90s. And he going to have to see that stuff ain't working no more. You know, because he can't trust, he only trusting what he's seen and what he saw and what he been through, no matter what these brothers say in modern day time. You know what I'm saying? No matter what they say. Any of them brothers come back from the 90s and say, I'm going to get me a Pitbull. You know what I'm saying? If we were still in that type of lost type of situation, I want to get me a Pitbull. Matter of fact, it don't matter what type of situation it is. 2023, with the laws the way we got now, any brother that get back into this game and want to use his dog for any type of sport activity, he going to get the lines he left out with, because that's what he know. He not going to go off of what somebody's telling him. You can't do that when it comes to bulldogs. You're going to waste a lot of money. You got to go off of what you know. And the only way you can do that is experience. Spend the money, buy the dogs. Luckily for us, the dogs weren't as expensive as they is now. So, you know, I can't tell y'all brothers, by the time you get 10 dogs, you done spent going on $20,000. By the time I got 10 dogs, it's a chance I could have got 10 dogs and didn't even make it to $2,000 back then. I want to send a big shout out to holla at your boy Kennel, my man Big Wooly, for donating to the channel. I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you, my brother. Now, what you do, you know, all you got to do is look at the brothers who breeding that Big John stuff compared to the ones that's breeding that Mayday stuff. The Mayday dogs are just running around in circles, running around in a big pot. Everybody got the top Mayday dogs. Everybody got the top Mayday dogs. Everybody got the top Mayday dogs. But who can we buy the best Mayday dogs from? You know, that's why I'm taking credit for my damn dog, JD Ho. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about all the stuff in the background. I'm representing my dog. You know what I'm saying? You want a Mayday dog? Get your shit off JD Ho. You know, don't hate on me because you don't want to represent yours. I'm going to represent mine. You know what I'm saying? But back to what I was saying. Fair and unbiased. I got a stud in my yard off Mayday. You think that's going to keep me from giving you real talk? If I got a stud in my yard off Mayday, that means I should get up here and talk all nothing but good stuff on Mayday. Good stuff on Mayday. I'm only going to give you what I've been through, man. I'm not going to give you no lies. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to make up something to make it sound good, or like I said, to make it go good into brothers' ears. You know? A lot of success came off of Mayday dogs in the early years. Directly off Mayday dogs. The offspring is not, can't say the same. We cannot say the same about the grandsons, the great-grandsons, the great-grandsons off the Mayday dogs because of the way they was bred. For one, the way they was sold. Two, you know. And if a brother sit here and tell me Mayday wasn't the easiest yellow dog to get for anybody who wasn't in this area right here, then you lying. Now, brothers had yellow dogs all across the country. Don't get me wrong when I mean that. What I mean by is the Mayday dogs been the cheaper dogs to get. They were more plentiful. Anytime it's something is more plentiful, the price of it goes down. You know, and that's the thing Chico was saying. He trying to say he give you Mayday dogs off of Mayday or whatever, his dogs on this level, when he's saying everybody else fucking up the Mayday stuff. And at that point, he was telling the truth. Now, I'm not crediting his dogs or anything, but I'm saying at that point, he's telling the truth about the Mayday stuff. You can't compare that Mayday stuff to the Big John because the Big John stuff was bred with discipline. The Mayday stuff was bred recklessly, backyardish, fast lane. It was bred in every style you could try. And still yet today, brothers can't talk about it like they talk about the Jeep dogs. Well, at least we talk about it because it's one of the #1 selling dogs. Far as, oh, I know if I got this in my pedigree, young brothers will buy it. Young brothers will buy it. You know, he one of Yellow Mo famous sons. Mayday's one of Yellow Mo famous sons. You know, but fame don't make you a better bulldog. I mean, excuse me. Fame don't make you a better bulldog. You know what I'm saying? You just more famous. At the end of the day, this dog over here is a whole hell of a lot more of a bulldog, throwing hell of a lot better dogs off. You know? Now, the thing about it, you want percentages over 1 year. Only person can give you that is Tom Garner. You want percentages over 3 years, 4 years, 1 litter? You want percentages over what? When does the percentages start? When you say percentages. Okay, you talk about from back in the days, I'm assuming. Okay. Percentages. What percentages of Jeep dogs are reputable today? You know, what percentages of Midnight Cowboy dogs are producing high? You really can't go off of percentages, man. That's just salesman talk. You got to go off consistency. Cause see, if brother Supreme Excellence got Midnight Cowboy dogs and he been breeding them for the past 15 to 20 years, and every time he make breedings with the cousins, with the brothers, with the sisters, with the aunts, with the nephews, he consistently getting great dogs. When he make an out, he consistently getting great dogs. But we talking about families of dogs, see? A lot of brothers ask what it takes to start a line. See, a line is a line. But a family, I mean, you know, it takes time, man. You can start it with 1 litter. You can start it with 1 breeding, a male and a female. But the thing about it, consistency can only be seen over a period of time. You can't tell me nothing about consistency because of 1 litter. You know, if you make a breeding, if you buy a male and a female off a Jeep and Eli dog, and say you about to start your lineup, right? Okay. You can't tell me how consistent your breeding's been to 10, 15 years down the line. You can't tell me about the consistency yet of them breedings that you making. You know? These brothers that talk about they making better breedings with the Big John stuff that we making on this side, how can you say that when you only made 1 or 2 breedings? The consistency that you going off of is the consistency that come from our bloodline dogs. That come from these dogs over here. You know, you trying to take our consistency and add it to your breeding program and say, oh, this makes a better cross, when all that was consistency. No, these dogs consistently make great dogs no matter who you breed them to. You know? And I'm going to say it once more. Percentages don't mean shit to a person that's not worried about sales. Only if I'm worried about puppy sales will percentages come into play. Oh, a high percentage of this, high percentage of that. Like I said before, you got a man over here who only sell 20 dogs a year. You got a man over here who sell 200 dogs a year. I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, that's why I said when it comes to certain things, we all gotta stay in our lane. Our old brothers, we can't get into these young brothers' lanes because we can't see it from the vision that they see it from. And a lot of my younger brothers, you can't see it from our vision. No matter how, no matter what you think, you can't see it from where we're seeing it from because of the time frame. Now, if you want to go back, like I said, the pay phones, because you're used to smartphones, go back to pay phones, go back to beepers. No smartphones at all. Getting yellow dogs without getting Mayday dogs, though. Don't got a smartphone. Don't got the internet. Getting yellow dogs without getting Mayday dogs. You know what I'm saying? But see, when you look from our eyes, you gotta look, back in that era. And like I always say, you can't listen to these stories and try to apply it to nothing y'all doing now outside of health and taking care of these dogs the right way. All them old school stories, you just can't do it. That's the benefit and the privilege these older brothers have in the dog game. You can talk about stuff that you done did in the 70s. You done did in the 80s. It's just certain things. The older dog brothers, like I say, the privileges that they have is nothing that you really can control, my young dog brothers. It's nothing that you can control. This is beyond your control. Now, I think I seen the brother Don Dollar say something on Facebook. I think that was who said something about he was going to purchase a puppy, and he got to the puppy, and the puppy was vomiting, throwing up in the cage, and the brother was saying something about motion sickness. Actually, it was a dog. It wasn't a puppy. Okay, here's my thing on that. It's possible it could have been motion sickness, but my thing is, if I'm going to make a sale, I'm going to keep that in mind before I leave the house. You know what I'm saying? It's a chance this dog might get motion sickness, right? Now, going to make a sale, every single time my dog throw up in that cage, I'm going to wipe that cage out. I'm not going to let that guy who's coming to buy the dog from me see vomit in the cage with the dog. You know what I'm saying? For one. For two, I don't want the dog to walk around in his vomit. So I'm going to get it up as soon as he vomit in the cage. You know what I'm saying? If most of the time when my dogs had motion sickness, they vomited in the car. But when I took them out the cage, they were still, they was the same dogs. They wasn't acting droopy and sickish. You know what I'm saying? The first rule of thumb when it comes to purchasing a dog, puppy, or anything, if it's not acting right, don't get it. You know what I'm saying? When I say acting right, I mean health-wise, sick-wise. Don't get it. You're only going to get yourself into a bunch of bills and a dead dog in the long run. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to older dogs carry balbesia. Older dogs can handle parvo better than small dogs. Not saying that this dog had any of that stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? At all. It could have been strictly motion sickness. But when like I said, when you're going to make a sale, you kind of gotta, like if I know I'm going to take a dog to Florida to sell, and I know this dog gets sick all the time, then I'm not going to, I'm going to stop and let this dog get as much rest and much stops as possible. Well, we might normally stop 3 times. We might stop 4 or 5 times just to let him walk around, just to get him, back to normal. You know what I'm saying? He'll be used to driving. And some dogs never get used to driving. Some dogs never get used to it. Anna may throw up every single time I throw her in the back seat. But when I take her out the car, she's not acting like a sick dog. She's happy to get out. You know what I'm saying? I think you made the right decision, brother, by not getting that dog. I'll never buy a dog. I've did it before that wasn't healthy. Never do it again. Never buy a dog that's not healthy. When I say if he's not at least acting, playful and stuff like that. You can deal with a dog that got some worms, but you don't want to deal with a dog that's down, just down, because it's something else, a problem with it. Something else there that's lingering on that might be a little more. See, worms you can get rid of worms. It might be something lingering on in that dog that can't get rid of that fast. It's not just an easy fix. Another thing I found out over a period of time, the Mayday dogs can't hold inbreeding like the Big John dogs can. You inbreed the Mayday dogs for a long period of time, they start getting short, they start getting all different shapes on them. Them Big John dogs, you can breed them how you want to breed them. When it comes to inbreeding, you getting good conformation dogs with body shape right, not low end, front end dogs. You know what I'm saying? The Mayday dogs, you gotta weed out. You gotta pick these 3 dogs out the litter. Make sure you gotta do all that selective breeding shit with the Mayday dogs. Making sure you take these from you, because these dogs ain't shaped right. These ones got this kind of form. This one got skin problems, this and that. You don't got all that with the Big John stuff. And you got inbreeding, because brothers did it the right way. That's why I say you can't discredit none of the breeders the boys did. See, you trying to compare a dog like Jeep and Red Boy, which the owners are dead, which we take them dogs and we bred them our ways. So it's fair to say we don't have Jeep no more. We don't have this no more. We don't have that. But if Mr. Crenshaw was still breeding his dogs from back then to now, how can you tell him what he haven't seen? How can you tell him that one of them dogs on his yard is not better than Jeep, off of Jeep? Because he is the person who created or who had that dog. When we start trying to compare our vision to the vision of the creators, it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to work. And for my brothers that said, some of the harsh things about my brother Insane Honey Badger when he was talking about trying to explain things on the show. Okay, this is the deal. I took a defeat. I took my first defeat when it comes to this dog stuff, dog talk, right? I say that like this. Yeah, my brother was over talking so much yesterday, but this is the deal. We got a young brother that's trying to learn about these dogs. You know what I'm saying? So what we won't do, is bash him. You know what I'm saying? We going to help him and guide him to, if he want to start his channel, he can start it. Or if he want to do whatever, how he got to do it, but we're not going to bash him. You know what I'm saying? One thing about this YouTube stuff, we all learn certain things. You don't jump on YouTube and know it all in one day. You know what I'm saying? You don't do it. No matter if it's how to talk, how to handle this, how to handle that, you can't learn it all in your first time. It just take practice with certain things. And when it comes to that brother Insane Honey Badger, I'm rocking with you, homie. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You're a young gunner, and I'll be fooled, I'll be stupid, to try to shine on you or get my rocks off on you knowing that you haven't had the experiences I had. Same way an older brother older than me would do the same thing to me. He wouldn't get his rocks off on me knowing that I'm not the age for the brothers in the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and hit that like button, my brother. Go ahead and hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and hit it. Because see, we talking about the test of time when it comes to these lines of dogs, right? The test of time. A lot of things comes into play when it comes to the test of time. One of the main things that come into play when it comes to the test of time right now is the confiscation of dogs year after year after year after year. A lot of the dogs who would have represent these bloodlines to the fullest are dead. Are dead. They're put to sleep. And it's not just 1 or 2 dogs, it's thousands of dogs. And then just imagine if the sweep came through during Red Boy, Jeep, and all them era, and all them dogs got confiscated. Red Boy was confiscated. Jeep was confiscated. Jocko, Bolio, all them dogs from them eras were confiscated. That's not even. We could confiscate 10 of the most famous dogs from the mid 90s on back to the 70s. Confiscate 10 of them dogs out them pedigrees, and where you at now? So we could confiscate just 10 dogs from the 90s to the 70s that'll fuck up the whole pedigree. What do y'all think about the thousands of dogs being confiscated over the years? You don't think some brothers, like say I got a champion JD, right? And then I got JD confiscated. And you don't think if I got another dog that look just like JD, that brothers are saying, oh, this is JD right here? Oh, this is Mayday right here. Mayday been gone, but this Mayday. You don't know because you never really seen him like that. You know? 9 times out of 10, you won't never see him again. You just gonna send your dog to breed to him. You know what I'm saying? It just, what's the chances, man? You take from Red Boy them era, Jeep, Homer, and all them, and you confiscate 10 of the best dogs from that era. Take them out of them pedigrees because they got took by the law before they did their breedings. You know? So test of time really involves more than just the dog itself. It involves the people that got the dog, the breeder, you know what I'm saying? All that goes into play. You know, we when we give a dog to say he lasts the test of time, you know, like Jeep dogs, they lasting because, not because of them making so many great dogs. You know what I'm saying? They lasting because we want to refer back to Jeep. Everybody's still trying to make the Jeep replica, Jeep. You know, and the people that's trying to make these dogs never even saw these dogs before. So how do you know what you even supposed to make? Now, I can understand brothers that's older than me talking about Jeep. They trying to replicate, get another Jeep dog. They trying to make Jeep because they know how Jeep look. They know how Jeep act. They know how Jeep was throwing off. They know the traits of Jeep, everything, because they seen this dog. You know? But then you got brothers who never even seen the dog making comments about it or saying different things about what Jeep got or certain things. You know? It's different, man. It just go for different dog men. Got to look at it from different points of views. And, you know, at this point right here, you know, like Brother Insane Honey Badger say, the dogs that we bred back then aren't the dogs that you got right now, you know. But like I said before, until we get the nuts to make your dogs famous, you got to worry about the dogs from back then because that's all we keep relying on. And then you don't, see, the thing about it, most of us can't speak them pedigrees. We have to show it to a brother. Most of us can't start saying, oh, this dog got a quarter of this, eighth of this, fifth of this, eighth of this, half of this, so and so it is. Go in the third pedigree, got this. Go. You can't do all that just straight off the dome. You know, you got to go in the pedigree to start explaining about this, explaining about that. It got this and got that and this. Check this out right here. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between somebody who know they lying and somebody who got to show they lying. You know? It's a difference, fam, to all my brothers and sisters out there. You know, it's a difference. You know, and it's just like I said, man, never been big on the Mayday stuff. But I'm big on it now because I got one. You know, and I really had to, you know, I wouldn't get him just because he a Mayday dog because I don't like Mayday dogs. You know what I'm saying? So he had to do something that I like in order for me to keep him. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even like Mayday dogs. To this day. You know, I still don't like Mayday dogs. I like J.D. Hall and his family of dogs. You know, I don't like no Mayday dogs. You know, I mean, I like them as in, I like all dogs, you know, and I like Mayday dogs, so they know they Red Boy Jocko stuff. But far as like on that level that everybody try to put them on, I'm not on that. I'm not with that hype. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with it. I ain't seen enough out of it. I seen spots of it, flurries of it, what we call flurries of it. Patch of it over here good. Patch of it over there good. Patch of it over here good. When you trying to compare it to a whole garden of good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'll tell you about an old school dog, man, I know from North Carolina. You know, because brothers look at stuff all kind of ways, and I try to tell you it's different. The brother was showing me a dog, this had to be in the mid-90s. The brother was showing me a dog, and the dog outdid my dog by, you know, he just looked like a superstar, my dog. You know what I'm saying? Not at the beginning. I'm talking about at the end when it counted. He looked like a superstar, my dog. But at the end of the day, and he whipped my dog ass and they took the money home. But he turned around right there in that thing and sold me the dog right there, right then. Said it was something about that dog he didn't like. He said he knew what it was about him he didn't like. He said he don't like something about him. You know what I'm saying? So it goes back to say, as a youngster, I can't see what he can see. Because he done saw something already that he knows something already. So when he see it, and he or if he don't see it, then he gonna complain about it. You know? But as a youngster, you don't know what he talking about. All you see is a dog that just beat your dog. A better dog in front of you. You know? When this other brother is thinking about what they consider the fast lane. You know? The real fast lane. It just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Everybody have to, you know, look at it from different standpoints. You know what I'm saying? And another reason I don't use roids, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to my dogs back in them days, because I seen quite a few dogs go blind off of steroids once they heat up. You know, see, the heat and the steroids have different reactions in different dogs. It just depends on which, you know, how it's going down that day. You know what I'm saying? That heat and them steroids will do all kind of things to your dog. You know what I'm saying? Things that a natural dog and heat wouldn't be going through. You know? A natural dog not going to go blind when he get hot. You know, he's just going to get hot and stop. And if he died because he got too hot, he died. He not going to go blind. You see, steroids do a whole bunch of stuff to your dog, you know what I'm saying, that could cause him to lose while he's on top. You know, because like I said before, I had one that went blind in the corner, and then Champion Little Country went blind in the corner, and he still scratched to the dog while being blind. Never recovered back from his eye vision. Never recovered his vision back again. Scratched on the fourth one as a blind dog. Never got his vision back. You know? And he had juice in him. But at the end of the day, man, you know, any kind of experience we talk about, or any kind of, if we say anything negative about a line, you must, one of the qualifications is you must have had hands-on or either some type of real interaction with this line of dogs. You know what I'm saying? It's really unfair to discredit any line if you haven't had dealings with it. You know, let me see another line I haven't really dealt with. I never had a Floyd Boudreaux dog. So when we talk about the Floyd dogs, you know, you don't really hear me say much about it, as far as dissing it or saying, you know, anything good about it. I can only give you the stories and talk pedigrees and bloodlines when it comes to that stuff. I haven't had the Floyd Eli brand, but I had the Garner stuff. You know, I had plenty of that type of stuff. So I give you my knowledge from the Garner line of Eli stuff. You know, I had never had an Epinette stuff, so I can't tell you how the Epinette dogs is. And I know by my common sense, if I go buy one Epinette dog, It does not mean this is how all them dogs coming. See? Now, if I was back in the days and I stayed by the Ebony or I had his phone number, I'll be getting dog. When this one don't work, I'll call him back. Yo, this one didn't work. Or so he might be like, oh, I'm going to send you another one. I'm going to send you another one. It's just different back in the days compared to now. Like I said, you'll go through 20 G's trying to keep up with what I did back then with 2 G's or with 2,500. When you buying 250 dogs, 500 dogs, $600 dogs. And that's the high end. But I mean, hey, it is what it is, man. I hope all my brothers and sisters had a good day out there. You know what I'm saying? PBK9's giving it to you the way I always do. Fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it. Some ain't, man. Some gonna like it. Some ain't. Y'all hit that subscribe button. We about at 7,000. We're going to keep this thing moving. I got something special for my subscribers coming real soon, man. I got something special coming for you. I'm going to show you that I appreciate all of y'all, man, from the top to the bottom. But y'all stay safe out there, PBK9s. We do not condone anything illegal. You know what I'm saying? And y'all stay safe from one side of the country to the other side of the country, from one side of the world to the other side of the world. I'm out.